So if you're an MBBS student diving into pharmacology, you are absolutely going to come across Veloz-D. It's this combination of Rabeprazole and Domperidone, and trust me, it's everywhere. So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down, how it works, why it's so effective, and probably most important, the critical safety points you have to know for your exams and of course for your future practice.
I bet you've seen this box 100 times. It's one of the most common prescriptions out there for acid reflux and heartburn. But what is really going on inside that little capsule? What's the secret sauce that makes this particular combination so powerful?
And that really brings us to the central puzzle here, right? Why go to the trouble of putting two different drugs into one pill? What kind of problem is this dynamic duo trying to solve that just one medication can't handle all on its own? Well, let's dive in and find out. To get that answer, we first have to appreciate the power of combination therapy. You see, it's not just about throwing more medicine at a problem. It's about being smarter. It's about a targeted, two-pronged attack. Here's the key insight, the thing a lot of people miss. For so many patients with bad reflux, too much acid is only half the story. The other, equally important half, is a motility issue. That means food is just sitting in the stomach too long, and that little valve at the top of the stomach isn't closing properly, which lets all that acid splash back up into the esophagus where it causes so much pain. And this is where you see the beautiful synergy. You've got Rabeprazole, a proton pump inhibitor, and its whole job is to just shut down acid production. It's incredibly good at it. Then you have Domperidone, a prokinetic agent, which is all about getting things moving. It speeds up gastric emptying, and it helps tighten that leaky valve. So when you put them together, bam, you're tackling the problem from both sides, and that gives patients way better relief. Okay, so we know why they're paired up. Now for the really fun part. Let's get into the how. This is the core pharmacology. What are these molecules actually doing down at the cellular level? So let's kick things off with Rabeprazole. It's a prodrug, which is really cool. Think of it like a stealth bomber. It's totally inert as it travels through the body, but once it reaches the superacidic environment of the parietal cells in the stomach, the little acid factories, it activates. And then it does something amazing. It finds the proton pumps and permanently disables them. That word, irreversibly, is key. It's why the drug's effect lasts so long. And then we have its partner, Domperidone. It's playing a totally different game. See, in our gut, the neurotransmitter dopamine kind of acts like a brake pedal, slowing things down. Domperidone's job is to block that dopamine, to essentially take the foot off the brake. And once it does that, the gut's natural go signals can take over, which improves stomach emptying and tightens that all-important sphincter. Now, what makes this combination so clever is how these two drugs behave. Rabeprazole actually gets cleared from your bloodstream pretty fast, but who cares? Its effect lasts for over 24 hours because it permanently destroyed those acid pumps. And the real genius of Domperidone, it's been specifically designed not to get into the brain. And that is so important because it means we get all the good gut effects we want without all the nasty neurological side effects we don't. Okay, we've got the pharmacology down. So now let's put on our clinical hats. Where do we actually deploy this powerful combination? What's its mission profile? Well, its number one target is GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, especially for those patients who are also dealing with nausea, bloating, that awful feeling of being full too soon. It's also a go-to choice for things like peptic ulcer disease and functional dyspepsia, basically any condition where you need to both dial down the acid and ramp up the motility. So you can really see that perfect 1-2 punch in action here. Rabeprazole cuts off the acid supply, which gives the damaged lining of the esophagus a chance to finally heal. And at the exact same time, Domperidone is physically stopping the reflux and getting rid of that nauseous feeling. It's just a fantastic partnership. All right, let's pause. We need to talk about what might be the single most important section here, both for your exams and for your life as a doctor. Every single drug has risks, and for this combination, there are some major red flags you absolutely have to know about. Let's not beat around the bush. While both drugs are usually tolerated pretty well, there is one risk that stands head and shoulders above all the rest, and it comes from the Domperidone. We're talking about a serious cardiovascular risk. This right here is the number one danger you have to understand. Domperidone can cause something called QT interval prolongation. So if you look at this ECG, that QT interval represents the total time it takes for the heart's main pumping chambers, the ventricles, to contract and then fully reset for the next beat. Domperidone can dangerously delay that reset phase. So why is a delayed reset a big deal? It's a huge deal. Because a prolonged QT interval can make the heart's entire electrical system unstable. It creates the perfect storm for life-threatening ventricular arrhythmias like torsades de pointes. This is the single most serious adverse effect, and it is a critical point to remember. Now, beyond that huge cardiac risk, there are a couple other effects you should have on your radar. Using Rabeprazole for a long time can mess with vitamin B12 absorption. And because domperidone blocks dopamine, it can cause prolactin levels to go up, which can sometimes lead to strange side effects like producing breast milk or breast enlargement in men. So this leads to the obvious question: who should absolutely, under no circumstances, take this medication? Well, given the cardiac risks, you have to avoid it in anyone with underlying heart rhythm problems or a known long QT interval. It's also a big no-no for patients with prolactin-secreting tumors and for those with severe liver disease, because the liver has to work properly to clear these drugs from the body. And we're not done with the danger zone yet. Drug interactions are critical. For rabeprazole, since it lowers stomach acid, it can mess with the absorption of other drugs that need an acidic environment to work, like iron or certain antifungals. But the really dangerous interactions are with domperidone. First, you never combine it with other drugs that also prolong the QT interval. That's just asking for trouble. And second, you have to avoid drugs that block a liver enzyme called CYP3A4. If you block that enzyme, domperidone can't be cleared. Its levels in the blood can skyrocket, and that dramatically increases the risk of those deadly heart rhythms. You might be thinking, hey, why not just use another prokinetic drug like metoclopramide? That's a great question, and one you might even see on an exam. The answer is all about the blood-brain barrier. Metoclopramide can cross into the brain, and that's where it can cause some really nasty neurological side effects. Think tremors, involuntary movements. Domperidone is designed to stay out, which gives you the gut benefits you want without those central nervous system risks. It's a huge advantage. Phew, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's bring it all home and boil it down to the absolute must-know high-yield points. If you only remember 2 things for your exam from this whole explainer, make it what's on these next couple of slides. First up, the core mechanisms. For rabeprazole, the magic word is irreversibly. It irreversibly inhibits the proton pump. For domperidone, the key word is peripherally. It's a peripheral D₂ antagonist. Got it? Irreversibly, peripherally. Lock those into your brain. And second, the key clinical facts. What's its number 1 job? Treating GERD, especially when it comes with nausea and dyspepsia. And what is the single most dangerous thing it can do? The most serious adverse drug reaction is QT prolongation, and it comes from the domperidone. Simple as that. So we'll end with a question for you. You now know the science, you know the clinical uses, and you now understand the very serious risks. So how does that change the conversation? How would you take all this knowledge and use it to counsel a real-life patient who's about to start this medication for the very first time? Think about it. Because that's where pharmacology stops being about books and starts being about medicine.